Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out my channel. I'm going to have a look at natural gas now in what's been a very interesting move recently and since the last video. So I was expecting that top at 340. We got really close to it and got that big reversal. Usually on the 4 hours, as we can see here, the reversal on natural gas are extremely reliable. We got a triple top here between that point, 2.8 on the first rollover gap, recent rollover gap. That's of course giving us a very deep target somewhere at 2.1, and I believe that except if we see some major changes over the coming weeks, that we are going to reach that level at some point, maybe in December or even January, should we see some mild winter, as it is very much possible that we could actually get that kind of thing. So focusing now on the shorter term, I believe we are going to see some retracement following that move to the downside, so reach that point, close the gap at 2.93. I closed all my short position a little bit too early. I think it was at $3. We have got some sign of engulfing candles, that kind of things, that was actually pointing to some sharper reversal a bit higher, but of course the price did keep pushing to the downside. We can see here that it did establish nicely on the 4 hours bullish divergence. That's not extremely deep, but when we zoom on the 1 hour, it's getting a bit more obvious, and it's quite steep on that instance here. We can see the falling wedge. That is a very reliable figure that it does actually reverse the price, at least temporarily. So from here we can of course take origin of the wedge, and assuming we're going to break at that level here some point next week, we could see 3.15, 3.16. so I've started to load long position on that signal here, as we got a nice engulfing candle here. Of course I'll keep stop loss not too far away, I think it was potentially 2.8 somewhere. Should we actually break lower, I wouldn't probably insist on this, because if we accelerate on the downside and invalidate that divergence we're having on the hourly, then it means that the price will actually start dropping lower, and then the next stop is quite low. It's probably sitting at 2.4. I don't want to risk getting trapped in any long position here, but still I believe this is a very valid trade. We got the origin of the divergence that's pointing here to the top at 3.16. we're also having the 200 MA on the hourly running here, and also the 50 MA here. That's also pointing to this. Now looking at the quote reports, so as we can see, the management did start loading up short position. They did actually start reducing their long exposure. Still huge amount of long to offload, so that's another reason why I believe we can push the price very low should we actually start to get some momentum, because the funds, they are highly exposed to the long side. They will take profit as we move to the downside and reduce their exposure. That's a given, and as we can see, it did only reduce, say, from 240 down to 3. It is still a 10% drop. They only reduced their position by so little. So yeah, I mean, in any case, the drop down to 2.1 is extremely possible just because of the funds offloading their positions. They will still be probably still net long when they're done. So yeah, very dangerous. So you actually intend to trade long natural gas, be extremely careful. I would actually highly recommend not to do it, or not do any positional trades long on natural gas, but trying to short any spikes, because that's the trend. As we can see here, there's a trend to the upside, but that one is a little bit misleading because of the rollover gaps we're having here. If you actually drop that point down here, we drop that point down here, you can actually see that the price been pretty much ranging between 2.2 and 1.8. I didn't actually do the draw, but that's pretty much what it looks like. So be really careful not to get caught by this. Also for the short term, I believe we're going to see some bounce, and that's what I'm going to trade and think about repositioning myself short around 3.15 should we actually reach that level. So yeah, that's all about natural gas. I wish you safe trading. I'll check on this on the Wednesday live session again, and I hope you'll be joining, and until then, trade safe, and I speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.